Hello everyone, and welcome to Working Title, the show where we talk about books, movies, and everything in between. Today we are talking about the in-between, because we are once again going down the glorious Reddit rabbit hole. Am I the asshole? Now, if you listened to the last time I covered the subreddit, you know the deal. Swearing, yada yada, that sort of thing. So yeah, let's get on with it. Am I the asshole for not accepting my sister's relationship with my ex despite her having cancer as a teenager?
My God.
My, 25 female, father married my stepsister's, 23 female, mother when I was 4 and she was 3. We've lived together most of our lives and are family. She and I were extremely close. Keyword being were here. She developed cancer when she was 14 and was sick for about 2 years. She's since made a full recovery. During that time, my parents became understandably overprotective. They also asked a lot of me. I quit my extracurriculars so I could get a job. The money went towards her medical bills. And so I could drive her to appointments. I didn't go to dances and any fun activities I did. It needed to include her. I did almost all of this willingly, the exception being having to quit my high school volleyball team. I did throw a bit of a tantrum about that, but was swiftly punished, and I think having one emotional breakdown was pretty chill given the circumstances. Anyhow, I go to college and meet my ex. We'll call him Ben. When I'm a junior, we fall in love, blah blah blah. He and I move in together when we graduate, so we've been living together for about 3 years. We were serious until July, when I walked into my bedroom and... Should I say this? I have to. It's part of the story. We were serious until July when I walked into my bedroom and saw him fucking my sister. Oh my god. We're not even done with the story. I broke it off, tears were shed, he moved out, etc. My sister apologized at first, but then backed off. I thought she was giving me space, but last week she called and asked if we could meet up. She told me that she and Ben were in love, and were just telling me as a courtesy before they started posting photos online. What? Bitch, what? Distraught, I left her in the restaurant by herself and did not pay my portion of the bill. She later Venmo'd, I know words. She later Venmo'd me asking for the money. She told my parents, who then called me to their house, telling me how disappointed in me they are for not supporting my sister's relationship with Ben. Okay. They brought up the fact that because she had cancer as a teenager, she never learned proper social etiquette and has a hard time meeting people. I don't buy this, in part because I've seen her socialize just fine, and since we spent a good chunk of the time she was sick together, that would also mean that I should have bad social skills as well, all by that logic. They then told me that if I don't accept my sister and Ben's relationship, they may have to go no contact with me. I reminded them that I'm also their daughter, and they should understand my point of view, but they are adamant that this is about me being jealous of her. For the record, I'm not jealous of her. I'm not upset that Ben picked her over me. I'm sad about the end of the relationship and do feel betrayed, but Lord knows that I don't want to be with a cheater. What I'm upset about is the fact that my sister chose Ben over me. That she slept with Ben knowing he and I were a long-term committed relationship and continues to be with him knowing how much it hurts me. Now, no one in my immediate family is talking to me, and I'm getting messages from aunts and uncles and cousins telling me that I'm an asshole and a selfish bitch. Edit. Thank you. Okay, that's just... My god. My fucking god. Oh, there's more. There's more. There's an update. Sometimes you can only laugh. Just got off the phone with my cousin who saw this post and said he could explain a few things. I asked him why he was on Reddit instead of school. He asked me why I was on Reddit instead of work, and I said touche. I like this cousin. He's fun. He told me that after my conversation with my mom, she went to his house and talked to my aunt. And here's the deal. Turns out my sister is not only in a relationship with Ben, but 4 months pregnant. Which means she and Ben were fucking for longer than I had even guessed. Apparently my parents are so adamant that I forgive her because I'm already ruining their experience of their first grandchild. That's right. I'm less important than my stepmom posting ultrasounds to Facebook. This is where we're at. Anyhow, I called out of work sick for the rest of the day, and I'm going to drink a lot of alcohol. Like, a lot of alcohol. And then start thinking about what the fuck I'm going to do. Okay.
My God.
I know I already used that clip, but Jesus. Alright, I'm gonna say it. My verdict is no, they are not the asshole. Now, this person actually posted an update. I was asked for an update, and thus, here I am. I'm just imagining that's how they typed it, personally, because it makes me feel like I'm not as dramatic. 2 things to clarify before I update. 1, I didn't have a shitty childhood. The favoritism started when my sister was diagnosed. I moved out soon after, and have been pretty independent since then. Not saying that how my parents treated me during those years were A-okay, but I wasn't Cinderella. 2, I did not drink myself into oblivion. I had 2 white wine spritzers, but I appreciate the concern from folks. Anyhow, the update. I got in touch with my sister and asked her to meet up again at a park. No bill involved. Thank God. I asked her if she was pregnant, and she told me the truth. She said she wanted us to still be in each other's lives, and that she wanted me to be in her babies. A Redditor, and I forget who, I'm sorry, mentioned that she may ask me to be the godmother, and that person was correct. But as many of you pointed out, if I didn't cut her off, I'd just become her bank and daycare employee. So I told her I could no longer be in her life, and I left her crying on a park bench and felt like the shittiest person in the world. I emailed my parents and told them how betrayed I felt and that I'd be cutting off contact with them. To my stepmom's credit, she apologized. She explained that she never thought my sister would live to have kids and that she let her emotion over that get the better of her. Understandable. My dad said nothing, which is honestly what sucked the worst about all of this. Ben tried messaging me from a burner account for the first time since the breakup, but I blocked him without reading it. I didn't go nuclear and post the story to Facebook as some suggested, but I sent an email to the extended family members who I care about. I explained the situation and how I'd be distancing myself from my family. Some have made it an us versus them situation, and as much as I appreciate the support, feeling like I'm in some valiant battle just makes me more tired. So I haven't been talking to much of anyone in my family. I feel lonely and crappy, but I think I made the right decision. Anyhow, not the most exciting update in the world, but hopefully everyone knows that I'm not dead. I do really appreciate the support I've gotten. It made me smile during a really shitty time. And hey, if anyone in the greater Boston area wants an extra guest at Thanksgiving, let me know. So yeah. When was this posted? Okay, this was posted about a month ago. But hey, anyone who lives in the greater Boston area, someone's looking for a seat at Thanksgiving. So, you guys can't see, but my cat came to join me. So he's gonna sit on my lap for this next story. I love you, boy. Am I the asshole for lying to my boyfriend? That's a loaded question. I, 22 female, live with my boyfriend Jack, 24 male. Recently, Jack and I had a son by the name of Owen. I had Owen right after I got out of school. I'm currently taking a gap year before going off to do my juris? I don't know. In Kent to take care of our son. Jack is a huge vinyl nerd. This mainly stems from his late grandfather. A majority of his collection is from his grandfather's collection. He takes great pride in keeping it in a near mint state. He's quite protective over them, but he does love sharing the hobby with me and Owen. i.e. going through his vinyl collection, telling us stories about his grandfather and how he got a hold of a certain record, or just sharing trivia or fun random facts about a record he enjoys. He does go on a lot about how someday Owen will have his collection. Aw, that's actually kind of sweet. How's it gonna go wrong? Last Saturday, Jack was at work while I stayed home to look after Owen. At midday, a university friend of mine stopped by and we started to catch up. I left Owen to his own devices. I got a bit distracted and didn't pay attention to what Owen was up to until I heard a loud smash. Owen managed to knock down the bin where my boyfriend keeps all his vinyls. Many were broken into large shards of sharp plastic. So I picked up Owen and blocked the room off from him. I didn't touch anything in case Owen would follow as well and start picking the shards up, or that I might get hurt. Jack came home to see his collection in shambles. He asked how it happened. I was afraid to say that I wasn't paying attention, so I lied and said I had fallen asleep and didn't realize that Owen had got in. And I only woke up when I heard a loud bang shortly before he came home. He was devastated that a large amount of his collection was broken. He wasn't mad at me or anything. He actually blamed himself for the ordeal because he didn't put his case far back enough. In my opinion, it was his fault for not pushing it back when he knows we have an infant around the house. Since Saturday, Jack has been a lot less overly friendly. He hasn't done anything to me or Owen. He's still an amazing partner to me and a great dad to Owen, but I feel like he's overreacting about them. He just needs to get on with it. Am I the asshole for lying to my boyfriend? That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to say yes, especially considering her, I guess, attitude towards the whole situation. I mean, if this was something that he shared with his grandfather and he wants to pass down to his son, yeah, I could see how that could be very sentimental to him. And honestly, saying you fell asleep instead of just saying, yeah, I wasn't paying attention, my bad, is way worse. So, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say yes. We're gonna scroll through the comments and see what other people say. Okay. First comment. You are the asshole. I think it's your fault for fucking around with friends while your kid could have gotten really hurt. You probably don't even remember much about the catch-up already, but 100% your boyfriend will forever remember how he messed up and lost one big joy of his life. The whole lying and blaming your boyfriend is the icing on the cake. Yeah. And it looks like Reddit basically agrees with me. So, yeah, that is our final verdict. Am I the asshole for kicking out my girlfriend? So I have a cat named Raven who's 3 years old. Okay. I'm gonna make a guess as to what the story is. Girlfriend wants to get rid of the cat, so the guy got rid of the girlfriend. That is my guess. Chloe, what's your guess? Nothing? Cool. My girlfriend of 2 years moved in with me a few weeks ago, and it was clear she didn't like my cat. I didn't think it was really... I can talk, I swear. I didn't think it was really a big deal until one day I got home and he was just gone. He's not an outdoor cat and he never goes outside. He was gone for hours and I was worried sick until my buddy came to my house and returned him, saying he found him 2 blocks from my house. I asked my girlfriend how my cat, who has never tried to go out before, ended up that far from my house. And she admitted to kicking him out. Chloe, did you growl? Dang, even Chloe's mad. My sweet boy. I was furious, saying she had no right to kick him out, and told her that since she thought she had the power to kick my cat out, I wanted her out of my house by the end of the month. She cried that she had nowhere to go and that she would have to live on the streets. I said I didn't care and told her to leave by the end of the month. My friends think I'm being too harsh, but my cat could have died because of her, and I don't want her trying anything else. Am I the asshole? No! Not a chance! Not a chance! Like, you move into your boyfriend's house and you try to kick out his cat. You just don't do that. The girlfriend should be thankful he gave her until the end of the month. Like, if someone tried to kick out my cat, it'd be like, okay, so pack your stuff and I want you out, like, yesterday. So, no, they're not the asshole. Am I the asshole? My mom's reaction to my eating disorder. This will be fun. I'm 17 years old and have been recently diagnosed with anorexia nervosa, which my family was not aware of. My older sister found my journal where I logged my food intake and told my mom. She smashed my phone and was shouting at me, saying that it's not an illness and that I am doing it on purpose for attention and to stress her out. She is threatening to send me to my dad's house, who I do not have a relationship with. I probably see him 3 times a year. They tell me to just eat and invalidate how difficult it is for me to do so. She has made my entire family stop speaking to me, shouts at my younger siblings when they come to my room, and refuses to give me money for anything, including for my school lunch and transport to school. I live a 45-minute walk to school. That seems counterintuitive. Like, you want your kid to eat, but you're not going to give them the money for food? Okay. I can't even set an alarm for school in the mornings because of her breaking my phone, and she will not wake me up in the mornings as she is refusing to acknowledge me. Because of this, I am going to school late, which is very difficult for me as I am in my last year of 6th form and cannot afford to miss out on my classes as I'm taking my exams this year. I understand they are worried, but she twists that worry and makes it about her, and how I apparently do not care about her. She says she wishes she dies because then I will realize how bad of a daughter I am. I just feel so isolated and exhausted, and no one in my family seems to understand my side of things. I'm trying to get support on being able to legally move out because of the way she responds to my needs makes me so much more worse. Am I the asshole for this? It's hard to believe otherwise when everyone else is convincing you that you are. I feel like I'm just being dramatic and selfish for wanting to put myself first and restricting my food intake in the first place. But it's not as simple as a choice. I don't know, I just need reassurance that I'm not this evil monster that I'm being made out to be. Or maybe I am. Edit. Some people are suggesting for me to live with my father, which would be equally just as bad. He was extremely violent and abusive during my childhood and is an alcoholic and addict, which has given me great trauma. My brother also lives at my dad's house and shares the same extreme views as my mother. Neither place would be beneficial and would sadly only make things worse for me. But thank you all for your support. It feels great to feel cared for when your own family does not, even if it is from a few strangers on the internet. I'm going to say no. They are not the asshole. How the hell are you going to react like that? Like, your kid has a fucking eating disorder. And you're just... How? I do not understand the thought process behind this mother. Like, oh my god. No, this person is not the asshole. TLDR, not the asshole. Am I the asshole for doing my weekly therapy in my dorm room? I, 18 female, just started college and had to find a new therapist out here since my old one wasn't licensed in this state. When I scheduled a time for our weekly meetings, I purposefully chose one that I knew would be at the same time as my roommate's, 18 female, class, so that there wouldn't be any conflict with me doing therapy in my dorm room since the appointments are virtual. The issue is, she never goes to her classes. She does the bare minimum in school and seems to always be in the room. She knows that my meetings are weekly and there are study rooms in our dorm that you can go to study that I recommend for her since she wants to go to the virtual lecture instead of IRL, even though she normally doesn't watch it anyway. But she always bitches about it. She says she hates the study rooms. I don't know why, they're honestly fine rooms and almost always empty, and wants me to go to them instead. The issue I have with that is that the walls are thin and people can hear when you talk. Not to mention anyone can come in at any time if they want, and I talk about a lot of heavy shit in my therapy. I don't really have many options since I purposefully scheduled this time, and because I knew she had class, and since I scheduled that time, my therapist's schedule was filled up a lot, and she has even less flexibility now. Am I the asshole for asking her to not be in the room for an hour when she's deciding not to go to her lectures? No! God, no! For one, the roommate should be going to her classes. That's just plain and simple. But two, if you need the privacy for your therapy sessions, then your roommate should understand and be like, okay, this is what they need. I'm going to step out and give that to them. I mean, hell, I do my therapy over the phone, and my family knows when I lock myself in my room on my therapy sessions, you don't bother me. So, no. The simple answer is no. The longer answer is, why? Why? Alright, here's our last one. Am I the asshole for ignoring my dad on his birthday after he called my dead grandmother a bitch? Okay. Hello, I'm just looking for some advice and want to know whether or not I'm the asshole in this situation. Here's some background. I, 20 female, have a large Hispanic family consisting of mom, dad, one older sister, and 3 younger siblings, ages 9, 12, and 16. For birthdays, we usually do some presents and hang out at home and either go out to eat at a nice restaurant or cook a big meal at home. It's just a day to hang out with the family. One day before my dad's birthday, his birthday is on Halloween, my dad was acting very short-tempered. I guess he had a fight the night before with my mom in which she called him the equivalent of son of a bitch in Spanish. Honestly, it's not unusual for mom to use that kind of language. Neither is it for my dad. It is also not unusual for my parents to argue one day and be fine the next. We celebrate the Day of the Dead, so I had set up an altar with pictures of my grandmother, mom's side, and grandmother, dad's side, around mid-October in the living room. The day before my dad's birthday, I noticed my grandmother's picture was missing. I freaked out and started asking everybody where the photo had gone. My dad calmly told me, in Spanish, the altar is for holy people, not bitches. I kind of stood open-mouthed for a second, not believing he had just said that. I never met my grandmother. She died when my dad was a teen, but he always spoke very highly of her, and even named my older sister after her. I was shocked and horrified to hear this coming from his mouth. I couldn't believe he would disrespect her that way, and I felt like I was going to throw up. My younger siblings and mom were nearby when this was happening, so they all heard everything. He went on about how no one in the family respected him because of my mom and tried to make himself the victim. In my house, my mom does everything. All the pickups and drop-offs to school, practice, appointments, dinner, groceries, everything. She just had surgery, but she still does everything while my dad does the bare minimum. Listening to him go on infuriated me beyond anything, and I, according to my mom, turned red and shook with anger. I rushed my mom and younger siblings out of the house. He went out all day, coming back home late. When we got back, my dad was already in bed and avoided us all. The next morning was his birthday, and when I woke up, he was already gone. He was out with my uncle all morning. We did nothing to acknowledge his birthday, and he did nothing to interact with us. I had gotten him a present for his birthday, but since things have been so weird, I didn't really know what to do with it. He's my dad, but the way he spoke to me about my grandmother, his own mother, was so messed up. He's never talked to me like that, ever. He took my grandmother's picture down, and I can't put it back up because I don't know where it is. I don't know what to say or do or feel. Am I the asshole? Any advice? Whew, okay. Advice I am not qualified to give. But I'm going to say no, they're not the asshole. And that's just a shitty thing to do, man. I mean, come on. Like, fine, be mad all you want, But to go on like that is not only insulting your own mother, but insulting your child's mother, especially after you don't do anything and the mother just had a surgery. No, they aren't the asshole. I did not look at the comments, so I don't know if they got the advice that they were looking for, but I'm not qualified to give that. So yeah, that was an adventure. I don't know if I'll do another Am I the Asshole episode. If I do, it won't be for a while. But I hope you enjoyed this episode, and until next time, peace out.
On to the next one, bitches!